Welcome back to another Castle Nathria card review. This is Orion Mansion Manager. I don't know if that name is final. This was translated from its reveal, but it's a new legendary for Mage. It's 4 mana, it's a 3/5, and it reads, after a friendly secret is revealed, cast a different Mage secret and gain +2/+2. So we have here a little bit of a Crossroads Gossiper card that's going to scale up in stats as secrets are revealed, and it's almost combined with something like a Hanar that's also going to get you extra secrets as well, as secrets are triggered instead of played in this case. So I think the idea here is with the Orion Mansion Manager, you put it down with a secret perhaps that you played a turn earlier that is based on a minion interaction if you can. And then hopefully as your opponent tries to remove the Orion Mansion Manager, they accidentally stumble into a secret being triggered that buffs the manager, that gets you a new secret. That one creates this chain of events where they just, crap, I got another secret to deal with now. Is it the same one? Is it a different one? Oh God, I revealed another secret. So basically, you play Oasis Ally on 3 into Orion Mansion Manager on 4. Maybe they don't have any removal spells, and the snowball is complete. This thing becomes, it's got an extra 6/6 or 8/8 or something by the time they get through all the secrets. So you've not only gained stat value, but also secret value, basically 3 mana extra of stuff every time Orion Mansion Manager goes off. And, that is a really fun scenario. I actually can't wait to make all of that happen. That sounds really hilarious, watching people backfire trying to get through this one. I'm sure I will also backfire on this one a lot. I do have some concerns, though, as far as getting all of that lined up and getting a deck around it as well, committing enough secrets that make sense with this one. Also, as I teased, if they have a removal spell and you play Oasis Ally, it's all going to fall apart, right? It's going to whiff. This kind of 2-turn, 7 mana commitment you've made all dies at the hand of, any 5 damage removal spell. So Shiver Their Timbers, even for a Pirate Warrior, means, oh crap, my master plan all fell apart. And I do worry there will be a lot of scenarios where this game plan falls apart more than it really sets up something that's, scaling and going crazy and snowballing into scariness. And, you need a couple secrets around this one perhaps to really shore up different angles of attack to make sure it can survive and get secrets off in the meantime. So, if you can put up a counter spell and an Oasis Ally, then you're good. But suddenly you're like, oh my God, that's 10 mana. Unless I have other ways to cheat secrets into play, and then it's a whole deck and it's a whole thing, right? So for now, I don't really see Orion Mansion Manager getting any support for this. I don't think we have the secret package necessary in Mage to support this kind of card. It's not one I feel like you can toss in on its own. It needs the help. Will that package come along later? Maybe. I still think Orion Mansion Manager is going to be fairly awkward, though. I think this card's still going to commit a lot of mana in a given turn to set up, and your opponent can kind of weave its way through it, and then you're left with nothing. You've committed a legendary card slot and some secret support that maybe didn't really make that big of an impact. Still passively sitting there on board as just stats at the end of the day. And will that be enough? I kind of doubt it. And next up here we have the Widowbloom Seedsman, freshly revealed, a new Druid card, and this one's really sweet. That's a nice little guy doing his little gardening with the Widow Blooms. He's a 4 mana 3/2 battle cry, draw nature spell, and gain an empty mana crystal. And yeah, those seem like things the Druid really likes to do. This is a pretty efficient output. You're getting some ramp here, and you're getting some tutor action as well. We've already seen plenty of nature spell synergy support for Druid with things like Topior showing up in this expansion, but also you could just use that to get the right nature spell in future decks, just some key build around thing that might be a possibility as well for Widowbloom Seedsman. And you're getting all that with a body as well, so a little bit of a speed bump as needed as you move into your future game plans for Druid. I don't have a lot to say on this one because this is just a recipe for a bunch of things that Druid likes to do all on a single card, and I mean pretty dang efficiently costed when you combine all of those together. So yes indeed, I think the Widowbloom Seedsman is going to be played. Next up, we have more Wildseed cards. I teased these reveals last night in my video, but this is Stag Charge, a new 3-mana hunter spell. It's going to deal 3 damage and summon a random dormant Wildseed. And if you need another look at the Wildseeds, here they are. There's the 1-mana Rush Wildseed for a 3/1, the 2-mana Taunt Wildseed, it's a 2/5, and the 3-mana Stag Wildseed. It is a 5/4 that gives you a 4/2 when it wakes up. And of course, these each have dormancies corresponding to their mana, so 1, 2, and 3 turns. So I think the Wildseeds, by the way, are pretty good. I think the Taunt Wildseed is the least exciting, but still a big body that your opponent has to interact with thanks to that taunt. But the Rush is a really cheap way to remove extra things. So suddenly Stag Charge, you know, is like deal 3 to something and then another 3 if you get the Fox Spirit Wildseed, but on a future turn perhaps. And then the Stag Spirit Wildseed is really, I think, the home run with this one. The 5/4 with a 4/2 weapon is just kind of insane. 4/2 weapons historically have been great in Hearthstone. Those have been played at 4 mana across the board. And you're also getting a 5/4 body, all baked into this one 3-mana play. Now, that's not going to hit every time, but man, when it does, that's going to feel like an absolute swing, real home run. And I think the other ones are still okay, because worst case, this lives in that sort of flanking strike space where you are dealing some damage. This time you can actually even go face, unlike flanking strike. So this can be a minion swing on board, can be face damage, which Hunter, of course, loves. Having that pivot is awesome. You can choose to do both. If you need to late in the game, just kill them, right? Who cares about the Wildseed? But, you know, on turn 3, maybe you need to clear 3-drop and summon a minion. And this works out perfectly for that as a cheaper flanking strike with potentially even higher upside. Now, you know, there is a little bit of this lingering doubt in the back of my mind regarding the like turn 3 delay for the Stag Spirit Wildseed. Like, is it going to take too long for this to start to overwhelm people and kind of catch up on itself? But I don't really think it is. You're not sacrificing much here with Stag Charge. And I think you're going to hit some mid-game turns where you just start to overwhelm, because suddenly the Stag Spirit Wildseed stacks up with whatever you're playing on turn 5 or turn 6, and it's just like, oh god, I can't keep up with this. I think given the other Wildseed cards as well, they aren't really sacrificing much either. So all in all, it feels like this is just going to end up overwhelming people with stuff and efficiency and just stats, and that's good for Hunter when they're using all of that really aggressively. And that makes Stag Charge a really solid Wildseed card once again. Beyond that, we also have Wild Spirits here, another 3-mana hunter spell. Now, I do find that a little strange. Both of these live at the 3-mana spot, but Wild Spirits really supports the Wildseed package. It summons 2 different dormant Wildseeds. This time you get 2 of them for 3 mana. Two stags is probably not ideal, but honestly, it's still not terrible, because you can get 2 5/4s in a weapon for 3 mana. That's pretty insane. But you know, I think ideally maybe it's like a stag and a bear. Maybe you toss in a fox and you're totally fine. And then this spell also is going to make your Wildseeds awaken 1 turn sooner. So this is kind of a energy boost for your Wildseeds. So it's all happening faster. So you could have a previous turn's Wildseed already on board. You could cast Wild Spirits, get 2 more, speed those up, and suddenly that big swing turn I'm talking about, where you overwhelm with all of the stuff, happens even sooner than you hoped. And it still might not all land at once, but you know, there's going to be that power band in the middle of the game, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, where it's just free thing, free thing, free thing. And I think that's going to overwhelm people. And I think this, again, feeds really nicely into that. I could see a world where maybe this one's cut, since it doesn't really do anything at a base level. You know, we've had the 2 other Wildseed cards so far. You summon a 2/2 on turn 2, you deal 3 damage on 3. This one doesn't have that impact outside of the Wildseeds itself, but I think this one still helps you achieve that critical mass. And if you're going to commit to a little bit of Wildseeds, I think you might as well run Wild Spirits as well. So I suspect this still gets there. Now, you know, I've seen people tossing around like what kinds of decks are going to be using these. I think most hunter decks. I don't know if like a pure face deck can really afford to run these. It might just take a little too long for that power band to hit. You know, you want face decks hitting really hard on turn 3. not on turn 6. Can be a little late. But any other Hunter deck, this package is not a big commitment. I think a lot of people could toss this in for free. It would just really nicely complement what decks are already doing well. Maybe if you're a pure res deck and you don't want to disrupt your res pool, since these are beasts, you might cut it. But I don't know. I think a lot of Hunters will end up running this package. So all in all, this looks like another really solid card. Orion Mansion Manager, if that is indeed his real name, is a 2-star card. Widowbloom Seedsman is a 4-star card. Stag Charge is a 4-star card. Wild Spirits is a 4-star card. And that wraps it up for this review. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, game on.